Hello, my friends. This is the art of prepping. In my life, I've had a lot of opportunities to be a part of various training sessions, which included FBI, Sheriff's Department, local police, and so forth. And it dealt with many times with active shooting protocols. And so I'm going to use some of that experience and some of the information from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to put this video together for you. So this title of this video is called The Civilian Active Shooter Protocol. Active shooters are very unpredictable and they are random in behavior. Most active shootings only last between 10 to 15 minutes. So these situations, they happen fast, but it doesn't mean that it could just be over in a matter of minutes. There are situations, and it has been known, for these to linger for hours, depending on hostages involved, situations that can become very complicated. Now, I have some tips here that would be advantageous for you to consider if you were in these situations. The smartest thing you can do right off the bat when you're in a large population center, heck, even if you're on the street and you're just on the sidewalk walking, is to be very aware of your environment. This is especially true in large shopping centers where there could be robberies or domestic disputes. Sometimes when disputes get escalated, firearms or other types of weapons get presented, and you may be in between those individuals and get hit by crossfire. When you're inside a building, the awareness should be more focused now on where are the two nearest exits, besides what people are doing, how people are acting. Is there a tension in the air? So you can kind of feel these things. You can kind of notice if people are acting a little bit out of character. If you're inside an office, you probably want to stay there, because if you venture out, you may actually run into trouble. So it's best to stay there and barricade the door, or at least lock the door. Get behind heavy furniture. If you're on a ground floor, and it's very easy to egress out the window, you may want to seriously consider that. Anything you can do to create a barrier and distance from the shooter. It's only as a last resort that you confront the shooter. And this is if you're pinned down in a location, there is no way out, your life is in danger, and only when you're in close proximity to the shooter that you would attack. And you would attack with whatever you have available. If you're a concealed carry permit holder, maybe you'd have to use your firearm to subdue the attacker. Maybe it's hand-to-hand combatives. Maybe you use what you have in your environment to create an improvised weapon. When it is safe to do such, call the police, whatever your local emergency number is. In most of the USA, the emergency number obviously is 911. Just want to re-stress this point, that the more space you have between you and the shooter, the higher the likelihood of you surviving an attack. So once again, keep as much space between you and the shooter. Leave the area when possible. Don't go looking for the source of gunfire. Hide if you cannot egress from the location. Put as much distance and material between you and the attacker. Once again, lock doors, furniture. If you can hide in places that are very unlikely to be found in a very short amount of time, then do that. Just remember, stay as quiet as possible. If you can, and you can remember to do this, turn off your cell phone or anything else that would make noise that could give away your position. Now, when the police arrive, there could be a whole new level of tension because they're just trying to assess the situation and they're trying to stay alive as well. They're trying to stay safe. And they don't know really if you're part of the problem or not. They don't know if you're the active shooter, pretending that you're just one of the many victims. So you're going to have to give them a little flexibility here and a little leadway so that they can kind of explore what's going on. And so don't get in their face, give them some space, keep your hands open. Many times they will instruct you, they will give you commands to keep your hands open. Usually you put them above your head, interlock your fingers behind your neck. A lot of times they want people to get down on their knees and to cross their legs so that people are in a situation, in a position, I should say, that pose a very minimum level of threat to them at the moment. And so they're going to try to control the situation. That's what they're trained for. And basically just try to do what you're told and understand that they're doing this just for their own safety and your safety and to solve this crisis. Now, in the middle of this fiasco, if you try to approach law enforcement, especially if you have things in your hands, if you start yelling or screaming or pointing, don't be surprised if guns are pointed in your direction. Be mindful. Put yourself in their shoes for a moment. If you were in law enforcement, you would want to have the situation under control. So try to be mild-mannered and try to be calm. Just chill out. Take a moment to chill while they get a hold of the situation. If you're an actual witness to the shooting, not just someone that's on the peripheral, if you actually witnessed the ongoings, you want to probably take these mental notes. The location of the shooter, the number of shooters, the descriptions of the shooters, and any types of weapons that they may have, just to help law enforcement. If you see anyone shot or there's any victims of any type, you probably want to tell law enforcement. This is a big problem in a lot of ways because there's going to be a lot of chaos, and to dialogue with police is going to be a little difficult at the very beginning. Typically, emergency response crews like fire and EMS do not go in the scene until the police have it secured. So there could be a time period of anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes or even longer that they're doing sweeps of the area or controlling the situation or taking down the active shooter or shooters. And so if there are people who are injured and they need to be towed so they can identify that area so that when the area is clear, medical personnel can go to them immediately to increase their chances of survival. If it is legal where you live to carry a concealed firearm, like it is, where I live, by all means, exercise your legal rights to do such. Get training first, and find the firearm and the carry system that works best for you. If there was ever an example of why you'd want to carry a firearm, this topic is probably one of them. And so this is something that you have to kind of think and be mindful of when you're out in public. And these things do happen from time to time, unfortunately. So hopefully this is a good start for you to start thinking about active shooting and a basic protocol to follow, some tips to think about if this was to ever arise in your life. As always, be safe, and thank you for your support.